Happy Thursday and welcome back to the You Good Podcast, the podcast where oversharing is encouraged and the thoughts get real. I am your host, C-Rod, and this week it is a celebration and a reunion. It is my birthday episode, the Big 3-7, and we've got not one, but two guests joining the party, the Greek brothers themselves, Evan and Dimitri Antonopoulos. This one has a little bit of everything in it. So welcome to episode 19, two Greeks and a birthday boy. Let's get into it.
I just wanna live with a heart wide open. I don't ever wanna feel fear anymore. No.
I don't know if Nick is on his phone or if he's ready.
We're just waiting for you, buddy.
Waiting for what though?
The birthday boy.
The birthday boy. There's no waiting. We're going.
Oh yeah.
So you say happy birthday, Daddy.
That not happening. I mean, you'll get a happy birthday, but not a happy birthday. That so.
It is my birthday, and we talked a little bit about Halloween and costume parties. And man, I can tell you what, we had some crazy college Halloween parties that were basically also my birthday party. And life is much different these days where it's just trick-or-treating with the children and not blacking out for like 3 days, 4 days straight. It's 3 and 4 days straight of candy now. I miss that.
So birthday weeks.
I miss what my birthday used to be, even though obviously it's much different now, and I love it for what it is. And I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world that I get to, spend it with my kids and go trick-or-treating and all these things. But when I say, I miss all of the crazy college birthday parties that I used to have, that we used to have.
Yeah, I miss it and I don't. The alcohol poisoning was definitely not something I miss.
Yeah. The alcohol poisoning still hits, but it hits a little bit harder. It takes a lot more to, I guess, get back into a rhythm.
Yeah, at least you know people now that own like IV places, so you just get a bag and then you'll be good.
I've never done that. I don't like needles.
Oh, it's not that bad, and it's great.
When it comes to birthdays, one thing that I have, and we'll get into this, is I have two birthday twins. So Tria Martin, Lindsay Best. Lindsay changed her last name. Well, she got married. It's not that she changed her last name. But anyways, Tria Martin, Lindsay Best, if you're listening, happy birthday. October 30th, we share that, and it's something that I don't share with a lot of people. Do you have any birthday twins, Nick?
Not that I'm aware of.
It's crazy. It took me so long to meet somebody, and then all of a sudden I met two of them in a span of 2 or 3 years.
Nice.
Anyways, joining us today, these are two guys who I have not only just a party bro relationship with, but they are also two of my biggest emotional supporters. We get down into the nitty-gritty of sharing our feelings, being vulnerable, while also, having the ultimate bro days out at the beach and downtown St. Pete. Nick, you know Evan from our fantasy football group. You do not know Dimitri, but for everybody listening, I want to introduce the Greek brothers themselves, Evan Evangelos, the Greek god Antonopoulos, and James Dimitri Antonopoulos. Welcome to the You Good Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. I'm excited.
Yes. Thank you. What's up, everybody? Let's do it.
I'm excited. I do have to say that you two have been the hardest guests so far that we've had in the podcast history. So congratulations.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
It's your birthday present. Happy birthday.
Yes. Happy birthday, Chris.
There's one thing that I want to start the episode with, because I don't know if we'll get into it later or if this topic will arise. But pretty early on in this, we had an episode where we talked about my fantasy football blunder, where I drafted a kicker in the sixth overall spot. But our guest today, Evan, has a story that is on par with the audacity of it all. Evan, go ahead and I want you to share this with everybody before we kind of get into today's episode. Can you highlight what happened? What was it, 2 years ago?
Yeah, I can give a quick rundown. So about 2 years ago, I was in a draft with Chris and Nick, and we're all on video. We're talking, and I do not remember my team name. I think it was just Greek God at the moment. And everyone keeps yelling, who is Greek God and why is he not in the draft? And I am so focused on what I'm doing that I'm not even listening. I just keep hearing who's Greek God, and I'm ignoring them because I think they're trying to mess with me. I think we got to like round 5 when I realized I was in this mock draft or something. I wasn't even drafting for our league. And I think it was round 5 when I finally realized that you guys were not messing with me, that I was just auto drafting in our league, but drafting for something completely different. I had no idea.
Oh my God.
Do you remember that, Nick?
I do remember. Yeah, it wasn't nearly as bad as, I mean, yeah, that is bad, but at least his team was just auto drafting. You picked the kicker, bro. Like you put him. He was the only one in your queue.
I didn't
why?
pick him, though.
Why would a kicker be the only person in your queue in round 1?
We talked about that, though. We talked about how I jumped on early, and then I started talking to people in the lobby, and it just happened to so be the one I click, and I stopped clicking. But Evan, I don't know if it was 5 rounds. It was probably like the 3rd, because I'm like, Evan,
yeah, I don't think it was that.
You're not
deep.
drafting,
and
you're like, yes, you're
Yeah.
like, I am drafting.
That's
like,
when
no,
when
you're
you
not.
were adamant. We're like, you're not in here.
You're the only one missing. So just fun times, and I think that we're going to have a few stories like that. We go back probably about 10 years now or so, coming up on 10 years of friendship. Because Kinsey was one, and we'll just kind of highlight everything. So I appreciate you guys being on. One of the things that we do at the beginning of the episodes is we have a rotational mental health, panel, we can call it, right? And we've introduced a few new segments where we had a mental health check-in. We had Nick's music. Last week we did, what's feeding your soul. This week I want to throw out there, and this goes to anybody listening, is a small win of the week. So just something that, made you feel accomplished, or like you have progressed, or you've been functional. D, let's jump to you for kind of the first one. Is there a small win of the week that you want to share?
Yeah, dude. I actually have a couple. So first time this year, I hit the gym 5 times a week, which is huge, but also not surprising. But the other one I'm really proud of is I stuck to a reading goal this week. Tried to get into the habit of reading, set a very tiny goal, and I stuck with it day 7. So those are my wins.
I love that. 7 days straight of reading every day.
Every day.
And what kind of adult romance are you reading?
Do I do? Well, Chris, it's not an adult romance, bro. It's an adult drama. It's a mystery. Tugs at all strings, bro. No, it's called Find Your Way. It's by Simon Sinek. It's just about learning about your purpose and discovering your why.
Yeah, Simon Sinek. Start with why. Leaders eat last. He's very big into thought leadership. Yep. I actually follow him. I follow after his managerial style in my business life. So Simon Sinek is somebody that, I've watched his videos, read his books, following him on LinkedIn. I love that. That's awesome.
Thanks, dude.
You could have said Nancy Drew, and I would have believed you. If we're going murder mystery.
Who's Nancy Drew?
Oh my God!
You don't know who Nancy Drew is?
No, man. Is she an author? Is she a character?
You're serious right now, right?
He's 1,000% serious.
Yeah. Did I stutter?
Okay. Well, Whoops. Nancy Drew is how old are you?
33.
Okay, so you're like 4 years younger than us. Which, well, me, Nick,
Yep.
is older. High school, elementary school. Nancy Drew would have been elementary school, like book fair books that were mysteries that you read.
Nah,
Nope.
dude. Nah. Doesn't ring a bell.
Evan, would you like to share a small win of the week, even if it's something as simple as knowing who Nancy Drew is in this moment?
Yes. So mine actually is gym related, like my brother's. So I haven't lifted weights in about, I would say 3 to 4 weeks. And usually when I lift, I don't lift heavy. I don't ever try and lift like as heavy as I can. So this week I was working on pause back squats. So essentially I had a barbell on my back. I would go down, hold it at the bottom for 5 seconds, and then stand up. So I wanted to see like how far I dropped from not lifting for about 3 to 4 weeks, and I was able to do 175 pounds for 5 reps. And it was a 5 second hold at the bottom for every rep. And I was excited. It made me happy.
That's
Congrats.
awesome.
Yeah.
Do you think that you could deadlift me?
The most I've deadlifted that I've attempted, I did it 5 times. I deadlifted 315 pounds. So I don't know.
Nice.
What do you weigh?
I'm about
I was like,
295.
I was gonna say, I hope he's under that. Like,
Yeah, I'm under that. So D, put this in your calendar, in your empty chalkboard up there, and write next time we have Bros Day, when we're at the beach in the sand, we get drunk, and we have Evan try and squat me.
While I'm drunk, that sounds awful.
yeah,
No,
that's
dude, I'll
probably
save
a
it, man.
terrible idea.
You'll have
I
more
will
strength.
record it.
Nick, I know that you love to have this one up today. Share with us your small win of the week.
Mine's probably I was able to play golf a few times this week, so I'll take that. The weather was good, so we were able to get out there. Actually, I went by myself on Friday. Yeah, almost a week ago, but yeah, it was a good time.
All right, Tiger Woods getting out there, mental health space. I know last
Far
episode.
from it. Far from Tiger
Well,
Woods.
I was gonna say, I know last
Wait.
episode we talked about what a 100 is and
Yeah.
how you almost got there.
Yeah, no, I've been getting there. I've been getting there. Now I'm trying to just break 100 consistently and try to get into the 80s. That'll be not very many people can do that, so that's the goal now.
That's the goal. Tiger Woods. I was gonna throw something else out there, but I'll stay with the working out aspect of it. Callie and I recently, the last few days, have started a couples like exercise program out on the patio now that it's starting to cool down. It's very hard for me to get to the gym all the time, especially with the kids and everything they have going. And Callie is not a gym person. She's not somebody that exercises a lot. And she came to me and she said, hey, I want to start working out. I want to work on myself a little bit. And I came up with a 30-day program to start light. And then this was the first week, and we've been going outside to kind of work out for 25 to 35 minutes at a time. And we're going to start bumping that up to about 45 minutes.
I think that's
Nice.
awesome.
How do you feel?
I personally know a personal trainer who may be on this podcast right now who can help you out if you need workout plans.
It's not Nick.
Bum bum bum.
It's definitely not me.
I feel good. I feel good, but it's always that first week where maybe you're a little bit sore. So she's over here and she's like, oh, I hurt. Why do I hurt? I shouldn't be hurt. I'm like, no, you're sore. Like you've never worked out in your life.
You don't use these. You don't use the muscles
Right.
that you were working out.
And even
Clearly.
she's, a piece that she wants to capture is mobility. So she's stretching a lot. And she's like, oh, I thought stretching was supposed to help you, not make you hurt. And I'm like, well, you're stretching, so you're going to hurt as your muscles recover from being stretched. But yeah.
That's
Small
awesome.
wins of the
Are you
week.
guys,
Yeah, dude.
are you
that's
also
awesome.
like eating healthier.
No.
Just doing the workout. Start small. That's all that matters.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere for sure. But yeah, eventually, once you start eating better, like then everything will fall into place.
Yeah.
But you know that.
I do, and I just got so tired of eating better because, anyways, I love food. Eating better is just so boring and expensive.
Yeah, but you gotta do it now.
hard,
So then when you do get in a better weight, then you can eat whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah,
you gotta
the eating part,
sacrifice
that's the easy
now.
part. It's not sacrifice. That's the easy part.
It's not.
What's the easy part?
No, it's definitely not.
The eating.
Counting your macros and all that is not the easy part.
Bro, 90% of the
Hard.
workout is literally what you eat, man. It's in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's the easy part.
Nah, dude.
All
Nick,
right.
let me ask you something
what?
about your golf real quick.
Yes, sir.
What's that like for you being out there alone? Is it meditative or is it more of just like, are you in your head about how you're playing?
No, it's the opposite. I'm able just to like be in the game. I don't have to like worry about anybody else. So like I don't get upset because I'm waiting on someone else or not that I'm like I don't enjoy playing with other people because I like that, but when no one's available, like I've been going out and playing by myself, and it's allowed me to focus on what I'm doing or what I'm doing wrong. So like if I hit a bad shot, I'm by myself. I can drop another and hit again, and like it's normally if I hit a bad shot, I'm like, fuck, I know exactly what I did, and I'll hit it again, and I'll hit exactly what I wanted to do, but I'll go play the one I hit poorly just because like integrity of the game or whatever. But it's just for myself, like you know what you're doing when you're playing right, so just focus on that, and I'm able to do that when I'm by myself a lot more when I'm with other people.
I'll chime
Right.
in.
So you feel more present. That's cool.
I've also played by myself a few times, and like what Nick said, I love playing with my friends, but I do love playing by myself for like the exact same reason.
And I just don't play golf at all. So
you should learn. It's definitely fun.
I hate it. I hate there. I just had this conversation tonight at a party where
you hate it because you're not good at it.
No, there's nothing about golf that I enjoy. I'm not a morning person. I don't like waking up early. I don't like to.
You don't have to. I play in the afternoon.
I play in the afternoon too.
Okay, whatever. Play in the afternoon. Then the whole rest of your day is gone because it takes so goddamn long. Whether you're doing only 9 or 18, it's an all-day thing. I don't like sweating, so you're standing out in the sun a majority of the time.
You sweat just sitting on your couch, bro. Like, what do you mean?
That's what I'm saying. I don't like sweating, so why would I go stand out in the sun? Golf to me is a boring ass sport. You know, you're just sitting there.
Fair enough.
Hitting a ball.
Fair enough.
And then you got to deal with these slow old people in front of you that you're trying to get around.
Oh God, that's happened a few times lately. You piece of shit. Why you got to mention that?
I'm gonna start the episode because if I don't start the episode, we're never gonna get into it.
We are into it.
We're never gonna get into it. Evan,
happy birthday week.
It's my birthday. It's gonna go how I want it to.
Are you gonna cry?
You can cry if you want to.
I might. Evan, hi.
Yes. Hi.
I met you at a very different time in my life. We first met when I was a stay-at-home, soon-to-be dad, right?
You were not stay-at-home yet.
I was not stay-at-home. Well, it was right before. So when I had my first child, Kinsley, at the time, Kelsey was making more money than me. We decided to, she didn't want to do the whole stay-at-home mom thing, and we didn't want to send Kinsley to daycare. So we made the decision for me to quit my 9-to-5 job and become kind of a stay-at-home dad. But while we were waiting I looked into part-time jobs, and the Container Store had seasonal openings as they were getting into, when was Kinsey born? July, so it would have been their summer events, right? No, this would have been beginning of year, December, November, December.
You worked there before she was born.
Yeah, I know that. And she was born in June, so this would have probably been October, November, because I know we were getting into Christmas season.
Yeah.
And so they were seasonally hiring. Were we hired in the same class, or were you there before I was?
I was there before you.
Okay. And so that kind of came about where I was looking at a part-time job. And I said, oh, this place called the Container Store, whatever, they have good pay. It looks like they have good employee benefits for part-time. And I signed up, and one of the jobs that was given to me was unloading the truck in the morning. And I believe that you were on the truck with me, right?
I was for a little bit.
At first go?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they gave us a time to empty out this truck. I don't know if you guys have ever worked at
Like a retail store.
a retail store. A retail store.
Like
But
late at night? Was
Nah.
it late at night or early
No,
in the
it
morning?
was like 5
4
a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Jeez.
So early in the
Mhm.
morning. Yeah.
It was early enough that because I was coming home after that to like help around the house and do things around the house. Because the notion of it was when Kinsley was born, I'd be able to go to work while she was sleeping or while Kelsey was taking care of her, and then by the time work was done, Kelsey could go to work and I could be home to take care of her.
Yeah, and then makes sense.
So we were unloading this truck, and I believe at the time we were like setting, at least store records of how fast we were getting these trucks unloaded. And it was a really fun time waking up at 4:30, blasting out music. I know it doesn't sound fun, but just the people that we had, it was a really good time. Nick, Evan, what do you remember from the Container Store and kind of those first few months, that I came there?
I think my favorite part was blasting the music. There were no customers, which was the best part about my day. And then also my favorite part about truck was, since we had to unload and then have everything like on the shelves before like 10 a.m. or something like that, if a customer came up to you, you'd have to be like, oh, sorry, I can't help you. And then you could just continue your job.
Yeah.
I love that
And
part.
if the doors open and like we weren't unloaded with everything, like those people got in trouble and they were like, hey, go over here and help out, and you just didn't have to talk to customers, and sometimes we just milk it, right? So that way we didn't have to talk to moms of Bayshore. But we had a song. So the Container Store had a set playlist. They would play the same music every morning. And there was one song that we all always sang. Do you remember what it was?
I don't remember the title, but it was a Chicka Cherry Cola song by Savage Garden. But I don't remember I don't know the name of the song.
I Need You. I Want You. I Want You, right? Savage Garden?
Yeah.
That might be it.
Chicka Cherry Cola. Say it. Do you remember the words?
Absolutely not. I do not remember the words.
Anyways,
what was the worst song you guys sang?
It was when I think it was November 1st, they would play Christmas music, and we had to listen to All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey on repeat.
That'd probably be the worst song. Yeah. Toys R Us. I worked at Toys R Us for a little bit after when Sam was born, just so I could get discounts on her Christmas presents.
That's smart.
So
Smart.
the same thing though. It was like Mariah Carey would probably be up there.
really dating yourself, Toys R Us in a store.
You all went to Toys R Us. I don't like that's
No.
incredible. Like,
I love Toys R Us. I'm just saying it was gone, but then they came back and now they're not. They just don't have their own stores, right? Is that what it is?
I have no idea. I think they They went bankrupt and then they rebranded. But I think they do have some storefronts, but I'm not sure, dude.
Yeah. I just
I don't know if
remember.
they have any brick and mortar anymore.
I don't
to
think
be
so.
honest.
I remember I walked into like a Macy's or something one time at the mall, and they had like a corner, and it just said Toys R Us, and it was like maybe like a 5x5 of toys, and you're like, this is not Toys R Us. Anyways, Evan, back to you. Back to you. Different time in my life. You know, we met, like I said, right before I was having a kid. You know, I was in a relationship that I was trying to mend. So there were so many different things going on. But a lot of the past guests that we have had on were college friends of mine. And I know that you don't think this is crazy, but one of the crazier things for me is we both went to UCF at the same time.
Yes.
And we both knew a certain group of people. You know, I don't know if there was other people, but at least there was a certain group of, 3 to 5 girls that we both knew. And we were always around them, or we were hanging out multiple times, especially, there was a solid 2 years where like I was hanging out with Marietta, probably once or twice a week, but I never met you. And that's just like, Nick, what do you guys think about that? Like Evan says,
I think
UCF was so big. There's so many people.
I think it was crazy when you think about it. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't think we would have. I think it's crazy that we became friends and then started talking. And it's like, wait, you know that person? Yeah, I go to their Halloween parties. I went to their Halloween parties. Like, that's crazy. But, like, I don't see me going up to some random dude.
Wait, is he frozen or
I think he.
did he stop talking?
I think he's frozen.
You think he's
With no introduction at UCF.
Okay, he was frozen. Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
He was just,
you're like, I don't just see me going to some random dude. No, okay,
That's
you're
so funny.
That's
Oh my,
fair.
that's I think the first time that's ever happened on here.
He had, like, the Zoolander look.
man. Yeah, he definitely went full on Blue Steel.
You're right though. The craziest part to me is that then after leaving college, we both end up in Tampa. We both end up, we find out that we live like right next to each other in the same, right next, our developments were right next to each other, and we're working, part-time at the same store. And we found out we went to UCF, and I don't know. I think it's crazy.
Yeah, that's a little bit that's strange. Not that strange in like it's just small world for sure. Like that's not normal. To have that many similarities.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very odd.
Right. We both went to
Y'all-
UCF. We did the same group of people. We moved right next to each other. We both somehow end up at this same part-time
Fate.
store.
Working the same
fate.
shift.
It was fate.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. What's the
Do
name
y'all
of
ever
our favorite
wonder-
bar? Go ahead. Go D.
What?
Go ahead.
Y'all ever wonder, like, on a deeper level, like, all right, your paths were so aligned in these 4 years or 2 years, however long y'all were going to these parties, but like, either y'all were supposed to meet at that time, or you guys were supposed to have these similar experiences, to where later on in life, when your paths actually do cross, now you have all these similarities to this foundation of a friendship, of like a brotherhood. Does that ever cross your mind, or nah?
It has not crossed my mind. It has crossed my mind how we became like friends, like what triggered to where we were like, oh, this is a cool guy. I think I might hang out with him outside of like work.
We were drinking after work, and I think we shared a bucket of beer. No, we both. So after a work shift, so it's what, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, on probably like a Tuesday or Wednesday, and we're like, oh, let's all just go to the local bar over here. It's on the water. And so we all sit down, and everybody's getting like water or one beer or something. And Evan and I look, we're both like, I'll take a bucket. And she's like, lady's like, oh, for the both of you? And they're like, no, we'll just both take a bucket.
And then we were like, this is a cool guy. I think I might hang out with him.
So that's when you guys realized you were going to hang out after work, huh?
Yeah.
It's like, did we just become best
Alcohol.
friends?
She's like,
Alcohol.
she's like, oh, there's 5 beers in a bucket. We're like, yeah, we'll take that.
That's what we're here for.
And oddly enough, when we found out we lived next to each other, there happened to be
Yeah.
a small, I don't want to call it a dive bar because it wasn't a dive bar. It was a restaurant, really, right?
Yeah, with a bar, but like all the locals went there.
Yeah. It was called Eats, and it was literally just right across the street. And again, that's just where we started going to hang and watch sports. Evan knew the bartenders. We would be there late. But that's where we met my birthday twin, Lindsay.
That is true. She was a bartender there.
That's crazy.
Trying to get Evan
There
to
you go.
say more, but he's just stopping. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, so she was a bartender at Eats. How did you find out it was like? Did you guys party on your birthday up there or something?
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know how you
found
knew
out,
that.
or
Well, I thought she was cool. I thought she was a cool person, and I enjoyed visiting that bar multiple times a week. Even though I was in a
so
relationship,
you became
that
a
was on
regular?
the rocks.
Oh,
They had-
And
They had a good drink
Flirting.
special. It was buy
we
one
were
get one
flirting,
free.
and I would talk to her, and then my birthday came up, and then that's where her birth. I don't know. We probably didn't go there on our birthdays. I don't know, but we said something or another, and she made me show her my ID. I remember that. Do you remember that, Evan?
I do, because she didn't believe you.
She did not believe me.
I think we went there like before we went out. I think we were just going there to drink.
pre-game.
Yeah,
Right.
and then we were gonna like go to South, or what do you call it, Howard, and like go to those bars.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So to answer your question, D, through all of this, do I think that it was meant to be? It was fate. It's hard because we didn't have a lot of similarities. It just kind of aligned to who we were as people, and we enjoyed being around each other until Evan decided to make the fateful move from Tampa back up to Buffalo and just left me high and dry with not too many other friends left in Tampa.
Well, if I didn't move to Buffalo, you may have never fell in love with Cali. So you're welcome. I think that's what happened.
Wow. I mean, there might be a direct correlation there. So
If you think about it on a deeper level,
If we met at UCF, do you think we would have been the same friends?
I don't think so. I think it would have.
Would I have been
I don't think.
too hard of a partier for you?
I think your personality would have not. I think you would have had to grow on me. I don't think I would have been like, oh, that guy's cool. I think I would have been like, oh, that guy's an asshole.
Because you probably didn't hang
Fair.
out in a lot of fraternities.
fair enough. That's definitely fair.
Yes.
Fair assessment.
Fair assessment. Okay. So I did not know D. It took me a while to get to know your brother. I wasn't at your wedding, right? Because I think we were talking about this the other week.
You were not. I didn't invite you. I didn't know you that well.
That was like a year into knowing each other.
Yeah.
You didn't invite me to your bachelor party.
I also
Sure.
didn't know you that well.
Your brother didn't invite me to your bachelor party.
I've never heard of
But you
you
moved to-
then, bro.
He didn't even know who you were.
So
I've
you
never
moved to
heard of
Buffalo.
it, bro.
When I first met you, you were a Bears fan. Now you're a Bills fan. How does that happen?
So I still am a Bears fan.
You're not.
I live down the street from where the Bills play. And so I grew up, born and raised in Florida, where you can go to any sports bar and be like, I am here to watch the Chicago Bears. Even if the Bucks are playing, they're like, oh, the Bears are on that TV. And you can just go over there and sit down. My first Sunday here during Bills season, I went to a bar and it was during a Bills game. And I walk in and they had at least 20 TVs, all had the Bills game on. I was like, I show up my Bears jersey. I'm the only one not wearing a Bills jersey. And I was like, hey, what TV is the Bears game? And they go, are they playing? And I go, yeah, they play now. They're on right now. And they're like, okay. They go, can I watch it? And they're like, we only play Bills games on Sunday. And I was like, okie dokie. And so that is how I became a Bills fan, because this place like bleeds it. They breathe it. Like when the Bills are playing, nothing else matters in this world except the Buffalo Bills. And living down the street, also, you know, I live 5 minutes from the stadium. So like I see it all. It's always there. Like if it's a night game and the wind blowing in the right direction, you can hear them cheer. You can hear the crowd cheer from my house when they score a touchdown. Like when there's a flyover, sometimes it comes over my house because I'm like that close to the stadium. So, I mean, it's kind of hard not to be a Bills fan because, I mean, these people love the Bills regardless if they go 0-17. You know, like they're still going to love this team no matter what.
And that was before Josh Allen, right?
Yeah, when I was here, it was Nathan Peterman and Tyrod Taylor were like the quarterbacks.
Jesus.
The great Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, so it's before Josh Allen.
And okay, so you moved to Buffalo. You know, I don't meet your brother yet.
You did.
It's not until
You met
I
him.
come up for
When I moved out of my apartment in Tampa, you two helped me.
well, yeah,
Like-
that was like a 30 an hour long thing, right?
Oh, got it.
It was our first real hangout wasn't until I came up and we went to the Ravens game together. D, how is your brother a Bears and now Bills fan, and you're a Ravens fan?
Well, so how I became a Ravens fan. So in 6th grade, my best friend at the time, he came in with a Ravens jersey. And I was like, oh, you're my only friend in school. Like, I want to rock the Ravens. So, like, we started talking. We were talking about the Ravens. Next day, he comes to school in a Steelers jersey. And I go, whoa, man, it's a ballsy move to wear their rival's jersey. He's like, no, I'm actually a Steelers fan. I don't like the Ravens. I just like Ray Lewis. That's why I have his jersey. And so out of spite, I became a Ravens fan. And since that day, you know, I bleed black and purple on Sundays, dude.
I love that. I love
Thank
that.
you.
And before we get into kind of the chaos that ensued, like after I met your brother, right? A lot of the drinking and partying started coming, you know, from that. Your brother and I formed a much different relationship, you know, now that, you know, he lives in Tampa and St. Pete, so I see him a little bit more than I see you. But one of my favorite visits to Buffalo was my first one, where I went up there and Nick, have you ever been in snow? I know that you're from Florida, but in Indianapolis. So have you ever been in a toboggan?
Yeah.
So I went up
That was so much fun.
I went up to visit
Oh,
Evan,
yeah.
and
Until you catch air, and then it's not fun.
pitch air.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about like a sled, or I'm talking about like a toboggan.
I know what you're talking about. Until you catch air, then it's terrible.
Well, I had never been. I had seen snow, but I had never really been in snow the way that like I was playing in Buffalo. We had got some fresh powder, and Evan and his wife were like, "Well, let's go sledding." And so his wife bought these plastic sleds. They're like little turtle shells. And the first time we go down the mountain, my fat ass just disintegrates this thing. Like it breaks into pieces after only one use, and we couldn't really go sledding anymore. And so she was like, "Oh, there's, you know, this toboggan over here. It costs a little bit more. We have to go rent it."
No, I brought it.
Oh, you brought it. Well, then why don't you tell the story then, man? You start talking. You tell the story.
All right. So when he visited me, I think I lived there.
He's just always fucking correcting me.
Oh,
I lived there for maybe 2 months, and he was the first person to visit me, and I didn't really know anything about the area. So I was talking to one of my coworkers, and she was like, "I have a toboggan. You guys can use it and take it down the toboggan chute at Chestnut Ridge." And I was like, "Oh, that's awesome, cool. What's a toboggan?" And then she
What?
like, shows me a picture, and I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome. What's a toboggan chute?" And she's like, "Take it to Chestnut Ridge. They'll tell you what to do." And so yeah, Chris destroys this plastic sled, which wasn't a big deal. I think it was only like $5. It wasn't like it was a lot of money or anything. But then we take this toboggan down, and because you take it up, you like go up these flight of stairs to like the top of this like railing, and there's someone there, like an attendant, like a ride attendant, essentially. And he's like, all right, so he had to adjust where we all sat to make sure, like, if we went, like, if we crashed face first, my wife wasn't gonna die because me and Chris were behind her. And so you basically like, we all get on, and he's like, "You ready?" And then he kind of gives you a push, and you go down these set of railings right into the snow, and then just like take off until you either slow down, or because me and Chris are top heavy, we just would lose our balance and like accidentally like flip over and like roll through the snow. The bad part, though, which I never thought of, was, and you have to drag it back up the fucking hill. Oh, sorry, can I cuss on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My God.
So then you had
45
to,
minutes in. Can I curse on you? Like,
so you had to drag it back up the hill, which was, so me and Chris just kept taking turns dragging it. But yeah, that was also my first time doing like, I would say like a winter activity like that.
And D, do you remember the first winter activity that we did when we took the visit up there?
Was that when we went curling?
Yes,
That's when we did
yeah.
Evan's favorite sports.
it is my favorite sport of all time.
I do remember that.
Yes.
That was a lot
Have you
of
been
fun.
curling?
That was dope.
who is the bowler?
We took turns. It was kind of cool. They had you like go to this place and you pay, and nobody else was there but us. So like the guy who kind of like
was able to take
watched.
his time.
Yeah, so like the guy who's supposed to like watch everyone and make sure they're not messing around. He's like, "You guys played before?" And we're like, "No." And he's like, "Well, there's no one else here but you guys." He's like, "You want me to be a rep and like show you how to do it?" And I'm like, "Oh, that would be awesome." So we had like our own personal like scorekeeper. It was a lot harder than I thought it would be to go curling.
Oh, I'm sure it was. So you guys took turns like being sweepers and shit?
Yeah.
And
Yup.
it was
That's
me and D
cool.
versus Evan and Jody, right?
Yeah, and then we like swap. We had like enough time to like swap players.
It was so cool. It was, and because it was like right after curling was in the Olympics, so it was still fresh on everybody's mind of just being, you know, a cool sport to watch. And all of a sudden, Evan's like, we can go curling. I'm like, hell yeah!
Like, yeah, that's crazy. I'm sure it's incredibly hard just to form to bowl it straight, like getting down, and then I don't know how anyone has never done it before was able just to pick it up in an hour or two. I'm assuming.
It
Something like
wasn't.
that.
Do you guys think it was that hard?
I thought it was hard, you know, like the
No, I didn't think
no,
so.
to me it was trying to not slide the rock too hard, and then you would go
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
past where you're supposed to land, and then you're like, okay, I'll slow down, but then you go too slow and you don't even hit like the target. Like trying to find like that in between was hard.
Hmm.
It's kind of like shuffleboard, where you know you can pick the speed at the end of the shuffle, and you also have to remember, Nick, like this isn't some Olympic size fucking floor. I don't know, whatever it's called.
Curling.
Yeah,
Ice-
it was nice.
it
I think it was
wasn't
an ice rink, right?
It wasn't like I don't think it was like regulation size.
Anyways, the epitome though of Buffalo is I went up there to visit Evan, and Evan, I want you to tell this story of the bar that we walked into.
So let's start at the beginning.
Yes, please. Thank you. He's going to tell the story. Here we go.
All right. So I go to call an Uber, and I realize Ubers are not like they are in Tampa, or I guess like it's just in any major city. Like in where I lived, near the Bell Stadium, so I lived in like a small town. I called an Uber, and it was like, it'll be there in 25 minutes. And it was the only Uber in the area. And I'm like,
Huh.
all right, so we had to wait for that. we go to this restaurant I looked up that I was like, I've never been there. Let's check it out. So we go there first. We get a drink. And I think we did like a shot. And all of a sudden, this guy comes out from like the kitchen and goes to the bartender and he goes, tell everyone we're closed. Everyone has to leave right now. And it was like 10 p.m. And she's like, okay. And they kind of like go away and talk privately. And then she's like, sorry, guys, you have to go. I'm like, it's 10 p.m. And she's like, yeah, his fourth grandchild before, and he has to go to the hospital. I'm like, the fourth one? Like, I get if it was the first one, but the fourth one? And she's like, I'm sorry. So we had to wait like another 25 minutes for an Uber.
We had just got there. It took so long to get there. And
So then-
openly, we were just like, really? This is his fourth grandchild? You got to kick everybody out for that?
So then I go, listen, we can go to a bar. It's walking distance from my apartment. But we should just go there. I've been there multiple times. So we go to this bar. We walk in, and I'm like, it seems like there's nobody here but like the staff. Like it was dead. And I think it was like a weekday too. So I was like, oh, maybe, just people have to work. And so we go up, we get a pitcher of beer, and we start playing darts. Still was kind of weird. And all of a sudden the owner comes up. He's like, Evan, how'd you get in here? I was like, your front door?
But wait, but
And
somebody gave you that pitcher of beer. You ordered it.
Yeah.
I don't think you paid
Yeah, we
for
went
it,
to
but you ordered it.
Okay, that I don't remember if I did or not. And he goes, oh shit, we didn't lock it. And I was like, why would you lock it? Aren't you guys open? He's like, dude, it's our company Christmas party. And I was like, oh damn. His name's Nick. And I was like, Nick, I'm so sorry. I go, we had no idea. He's like, who gave you the pitcher? And I was like, the bartender. And he's like, all right. So he like walks away, he comes back, and he's like, I locked the doors. Nobody else can come in. But you guys are more than welcome to stay until we decide to end the Christmas party. And I was like, okay, cool. So it's just me, Chris,
yeah.
and like the employees of this bar.
Hell yeah.
Definitely a small town place.
Yeah. I mean, one, they were nice enough to let us stay. But like, Evan's just like, yeah, this is a company Christmas party. I'm like, oh shit, thinking like we have to leave. But he's like, oh, but we can drink it. We can stay. And I don't remember if they charge us or not. Do you remember at all?
I
Like
do
paying
not
a bill?
remember.
Got absolutely blasted.
We did.
Oh,
Because they were just,
blasted.
that's all they were doing was just like doing shit. They had like music blasting. I think at one point, like a couple of the bartenders were just like dancing on the bar, and they were all just doing shots. Like sometimes, like the owner was coming over. He's like, you guys want a shot? And I'm like, yeah, remember? I can walk here. He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, you can have as much as you want then.
That's
We got
great. I can walk
absolutely
here.
annihilated.
That's rad.
I can
And
walk.
then we did walk home. It took a lot.
We did
took
walk
a long
home.
time.
Because it snowed also.
It was heavy snow. It wasn't heavy snow that night, but it was icy out. We
Yeah.
fell a few times. I remember falling into snow or purposely diving into it. I don't remember which one it was.
I feel like he probably purposely dove into the snow.
Yeah, that sounds probably about right.
So the Buffalo days
Perfect.
were fun. The Buffalo trips were fun, and it's funny because I look at Evan and I look at Dee as like two completely different personalities. Like on the spectrum of personality, there's this way for Evan and then this way for Dimitri. But I get along with both of you in completely different ways, and I think that we have like a different vulnerability about the conversations we have or about how open we are. And one of Dee's influences for me, and I mentioned this on one of our earlier episodes, Nick, is he is the one who I take my mental health day beach walks with, right? Where sometimes we'll meet up. It's usually a Saturday morning. We'll meet up at like 8 a.m. and we'll meet up at the beach. We'll go for, a mile or two walk. We'll go in the water. We'll swim around. We'll decompress. We'll talk about life. And just recently, in our most recent one, we ended up at our favorite bar, the Undertow, had a few drinks before kind of calling it a day. But it starts the Saturday. It starts the weekend on a great note. Like we feel so much better. And Dimitri, like one of your influences on my life and on our relationship is that mental health focus. Can you kind of talk about where that comes from, and I guess how you and Evan are kind of, polar opposites when it comes to, things of that nature?
Yeah, for sure. Speaking for myself, so I started big on the mental health during COVID. I got COVID really badly. I was out for 2 weeks of work, was, pent up in a room in my girlfriend's house at the time, just couldn't leave. So I started writing my feelings. And as I started journaling, I thought maybe I should just share these thoughts because I can't be the only one going with these dark thoughts during COVID. So I published an article and then got a lot of good feedback, became a writer, started writing about mental health. That's where my journey kind of just started. And I just followed the energy, just followed the flow of just, let me start being more vulnerable. Let me start expressing this because I feel everyone feels, at least for me, I've always felt like I'm alone in this. So to finally express it and be able to meet people who share, similar struggles, but all have their own stories. It's like, it fascinates me hearing the story of other people and seeing like where they came from and how they've used that to influence their life, their habits, and motivate them,
Yeah.
Do you journal a lot?
Yeah, dude. So I journal now. I just got a new journal with journal prompts. So that's been a lot of fun to do. But beforehand, I always just free flowed as a way to not even just like, it's not like I'm writing paragraphs or like essay. Like I'll just write down thoughts, I'll just write down ideas and I start like outlining, finding like where these are connecting to my past or why I may have reacted a certain way. So like the journaling is it's a free flow. It's however I'm feeling in that moment, how I want to write it.
Do you ever actually like go back and read your past entries? If so, how often?
No, it's funny. No, I never do. And what's crazy is that I have probably 12 journals that I save throughout my whole entire life. I've yet to go back and read it. Not a single passage.
What's the difference between
It's
journaling
kind
and
of
a
like
diary?
a label.
I was gonna say, yeah.
That's all
Is
it
journaling
is.
just
It's
the
just a
manly
label,
version of a
whatever you want to
it's
call it.
just the manly version of a diary?
I think
Hey, Michael
I
Scott
don't know.
had
I
a
think
diary.
a diary might be more like structured like date, like this day I did this. Like I mean, not saying journaling isn't like necessarily like that, but I know when I was doing the journal, it was just like thoughts. I wasn't necessarily writing down days like, oh, on the 26th or the 30th, I felt like this. It's like today. It was mostly like today I felt like this, but I didn't necessarily put a date.
Yeah. When did you journal, Nick?
What early on when I was dealing with my my own shit, uh, just trying to get everything out of my head and and just
Yeah.
on something else.
Did that discontinue? Do you not journal anymore?
I don't necessarily do it as much as I did when I first started this journey, but I definitely see the benefit of it. So yeah, but I don't have one that prompts me the free flow stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Evan, have you journaled?
I have never journaled. It's a conversation my brother and I have had. He's suggested it, like, I think it would be good for you, but I just never done it. I don't think I ever will. I think it's
Yeah.
cool that he does it, that he takes time out of his day to do it, but I won't take the time to do it.
Yeah. Hey, what
least you're
helps you helps
honest.
you. What do you use as like a creative aid?
What do you mean?
So is there anything that you introduce to your body or yourself to prepare for these journals or these mental focuses? And if so, what is that and why does it help?
I honestly don't. I try to stay completely sober and in my feelings and emotions. So that way, reason why I do that is because I want to fully experience that vulnerability without any help. Once I've been able to fully feel those feelings, then it's like, okay, let's let's hit the pen, let's smoke a bowl. Now we can relax and kind of just observe from another point of view now that I fully have felt everything. Because I feel that if I were to use some sort of aid, then it would be a crutch and I wouldn't be able to feel everything fully.
Do you journal a certain time every day, or is it kind of like, oh, this just popped in my head, I feel like I should write it out?
Now I will journal at 5 o'clock every day after work. On the weekends, it's whenever I just feel like, I feel like we have a part in our day where it's just like there's dullness, like there's a flow stop, there's nothing progressing, which is kind of just an adult day. At least for me, at least. I don't have kids, I don't have a girlfriend, so I got a lot of time in my hands. But in those moments where I feel stuck is when I'll journal.
That's awesome.
Now, I have a question to that because if you journal when you're sober, right? But you also you said you don't go back to read it. But the other day in our group text, you said that weed gets you and it knows what's up and you love it. So if that mindset of, when I'm smoking, I feel happier, better, whatever that knowledge is, why wouldn't you journal with something that gets you and something that knows what's up?
So for me, when I sent that text, I remember that completely was one of those things where I decided to do it and meditate. I hit my pen, meditated, and that's when I was discovering that, I've battled so much with like doing too much of something and, being, an abuser, to where I can finally have this relationship where I know there's a boundary, where I can set that boundary and respect it, to where if I'm emotional and I need something, it's like, hey, don't run to this aid right away. Like, sit with these feelings, have this conversation with them, because the weed's going to be there, and the weed's kind of like that relaxer afterwards. Once I've been able to feel everything, is that, you know, it calms me down. But then also, if I've avoided something, one thing I love about smoking weed is that it will put it right in your face, and it will tell you you're avoiding this. And then that's when we smoke more, because we want to forget it. But it's always throwing it in your face, telling you need to work on this.
Truth.
That's very interesting. I appreciate that aspect of it.
Yeah, of
definitely a different angle. I
feel like there's
no, go ahead.
No, I feel like there's this stereotype around stoners or around people who just smoke weed where it's just, oh, they're bums, or like they use it as a crutch, they abuse it. And it's like, you can have a healthy balance, not just with weed, but, I've known people who are, so addicted to fitness that like, that's all they do. And they will overwork their body to where they're actually hurting themselves, because it's like they need to avoid whatever problem they're facing. And marijuana was planted here, was given to us, it grows from the ground. So like there's a medicinal purpose to it if we use it correctly.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. I mean, that's also why we have medical marijuana, right?
Yeah, yup.
I have an open question. we've talked a little bit, and this could be for Nick or either of you. I obviously know where you both stand, but I think there's a big stigma with men and opening up about mental health. I know Evan, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but sometimes when I talk to you and I'm trying to get you to open up or talk about something, like sometimes you're still very hesitant, right? Whereas when D and I are on our walks, like we can literally ask each other anything and we'll go into it, right? We'll talk about if it's hurting us or if we're confused or if we're struggling. And I think there's a stigma that men hide a lot of feelings, and men go out and get drunk to maybe mask things, and they have bros days and bros weekends, right? But a part of that bro session is just really just getting hammered and forgetting about everything. But how do we as men, and this can probably be true for women too, create more friendships where you can be like both drunk and deep? And I don't mean like drunk and then crying and emotional, like you can get, but like drunk and still being in the moment and talking about things that are deep and finding that resolution.
I think I can only speak from like my perspective. I'm not going to talk for how anyone else feels. To me, it's really hard to open up to friends. I would just say like anyone. I think it's because I get into my head like, oh, I don't want to burden people with this. We're having a good time. Why am I bringing everyone down? Even if it's something I'm battling with. That's how I see it. Something my brother kind of helped me, convince me to do last year was see a therapist. And I remember one of the first couple meetings, I told my therapist, like, I shut down very easily when I start to open up. It's going to be like, I'm not going to just tell you whatever you want to hear. But she's like, you come with an open mind. Eventually, when you're comfortable, you can fully open up. And I've had conversations with her to where I've started to have that conversation with like a friend, like just in the moment, and I would immediately shut down and try and spin it and be like, well, how are you doing? And like not open up because I never wanted to. And I remember telling her, about that. And she's like, you've told me a lot of things, and obviously you're paying to see me, so you should open up fully with me. She's like, but I think your friends would want to hear what you tell me. And I think it comes from, I don't know, like I still hear people who are like, oh, men don't share feelings. Like, you're not a man if you're opening up to people. Like, that's not what men do. Like, you're supposed to stay strong. Like, you're supposed to be like the strong one.
Nick's gonna beat their ass.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what makes it hard too. It's also, if you're having a good time, like if I'm having a great time with my friends, even if I'm battling something inside, I'm like, I don't want to put that on everyone else. Like, we're having a good time. Why am I going to bring them down? That makes sense.
Well, that just happened to us, right? We were on a boys' weekend. D went home. He went to bed. You and I decided to go out to another bar and keep partying and keep drinking. And we were having a grand old time. We were taking shots and drinking. So like, I was so fucked up, and so were you. And all of a sudden, like I start, we're up at the stage. We're giving shots to the singers, and Evan's like singing every song and dancing with all these people. And I go to the bathroom and I get another drink, and I come back and I see like Evan basically getting kicked out of the bar.
Yeah.
And it turns out that you were having a panic attack, and you didn't know where I was. I don't think I had told you I went to the bathroom. I think I had just kind of, walked away. And so I don't know if your thought process was, I'm alone, or where are my friends, or whatever it was, or maybe we were just too drunk. But in the same breath, like while you're having a panic attack and I'm trying to calm you down, I remember we walk outside, we sit down. Your first response was like, I'm okay. I'm good. You're okay? Like, let's keep going. Let's keep moving. Let's have fun. And here I am like, hey, Evan, sit down. Like, let's take a 5, take all the time you need. Let's relax and get back to the fun that we were having. And like you said, your mindset was, I don't want to burden you. I'm so sorry. Let's keep moving.
Yeah. I remember that vividly. It was the only time that I can remember ever being kicked out of a bar. And I remember I see it from a bouncer's, security perspective. I was super drunk and I just kept asking this, like, it was just like this one girl who was working security, like where I was standing. I just kept asking her, where are my friends? Where are my friends? And I was freaking out. And then she went and got like 2 guys. And I was like, hey, where are my friends? They're like, we'll take you to your friends. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I realized I was getting kicked out. And I was like, no, because then I started panicking more because I'm like, I can't leave my friends. Where are they? And then you popped out of nowhere. And I was like, I go, this is my
Save the
friend.
day.
Okay. I was like, let's go. I'm ready to go. And they're like, yeah, you have to leave. I'm like, no, I know. I want to leave. I found my friend. Like, I'm good. We can go. But yes,
Well,
I
you
do
have a
remember you.
choice.
I do remember you telling me, like, we don't have to, like, we can sit here. We sat on like some bench that was like outside for like 20 minutes or whatever until I like fully calmed down.
Yep. And that's the important part is just being able, like, to be in that moment, realize everything's okay, realize like, hey, I'm not a burden. Like, the night was over. It was probably 2:00 in the morning. We had probably been out much, I think it was like 1:30. They were probably shutting down soon. We had been out much longer than we should have been. We were drinking all day, and that was probably just an internal clock saying like, hey, it's time to go home.
Yeah, I agree on that. Do you guys have input on how men can maybe open up more to their friends?
Just by doing it.
Nick, what is this?
I don't know. It's like it's not. Hold on.
I noticed it too.
Nobody can see it, but Nick just has this one strand of hair.
String of
Oh my
hair.
god, this emo
It was
string,
not just one. It was a bundle. Like it
a
had
glob of
got
hair.
that moved from my head. I thought it was very attractive. I didn't know it was that distracting. So
Creating more friendships, right? And Evan, you're right. I think when you're out, like drinking and partying, nobody
that's
wants
not
to
the
like, hey,
time.
let me bring something up that's going to bring everybody down. But like, maybe that's the only time you are in front of people or in front of friends, or like maybe it's something that you really have to get off your chest. Do you see it as different, Nick?
I don't think you should do it drunk necessarily. Like I don't know, unless that's the only way you can talk to your friends. But I mean, honestly, if that's the only way you can talk to your friends, then so be it. But I think you should be able to, if you need to get something off your chest, if something's bothering you, you should be able to call them, or when you're in front of them before you get drunk, take care of it then.
Yeah.
I don't think you should do it once you're inebriated.
Going back to, so I texted my brother a couple weeks ago because I had really high anxiety. It was like 10 o'clock at night, and I texted him to see if he was awake, which was, for my brother, he doesn't usually stay up late during the week, and he happened to be up. And he's like, yeah, I'm up. He's like, are you okay? And I instantly shut down. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. What are you doing? And he's like, no, you're texting me at 10 p.m. like something's wrong. And I was like, nope, we're good. I was like, I'm good. Are you okay? And he's like, just tell me what's wrong. And like, it took a little pushing for me to be like, okay, well, like my anxiety's high, and we texted back and forth for like an hour before I was like, all right, I feel good. Like, thanks. I guess I just had to get something off my chest. But yeah, it just kind of goes to, I feel like that it's like I'm reaching out, but then when someone responds, I'm instantly like, I'm going to shut down and be like, oh, how are you doing? Like, do you want to talk about anything?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Being
Also,
vulnerable.
I think that when you're vulnerable, there's that fear behind that, where there's a fear you're going to be judged. Here's this. Here's this guy that I've been friends with. Everything's cool, but now like I have to open up now. And I don't know if he's gonna be cool about it, or if this is gonna be the end of the friendship, or if someone is gonna judge you, you're better off like walking away from the situation, because everyone's gonna react that way. But I feel like that's a common theme, is that judgments.
Yeah, if someone is going to judge you for that, I don't think that
They're not
you
friends.
need those people. Yeah, You don't need those people in your life.
Outside of our circle here, and this is to Evan and D, like, when's the last time that you let a friend that wasn't each other or myself see you struggle? You know, do you have other friends that you open up to and that you're vulnerable around?
I did it last year on accident. I had a really bad anxiety attack in front of my neighbor, and the next day, I apologized more times than I could count because it just like brought, like, we were having a great time. I had a really bad panic attack. It just came out of nowhere. I couldn't control it, and he was like, "Listen, like, I've never seen you so scared in my life," and I was like, "I'm so sorry." He's like, "No. If it's coming again, tell me before it happens. I want to be there for you." And I was like, oh, okay. Which, and like, now, you know, that it sucks. It was something like that made us realize like we could be there for each other if like something's going on and we have no one else to turn to.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, how about you?
I
Steve?
have a homie. Yeah, I have a homie that lives in North Carolina, and we've been best friends for 4 years, 5 years now. And I just called him up a couple weeks ago, dealing with some past relationship issues that I had to, you know, get off my chest and kind of talk to about. And so it was nice still having that like connection. You know, you're not near them. You know, I haven't seen him since June, but still good that like we have that friendship and that bond.
Yeah. It takes there needs to be patience, right? When we're talking about panic attacks and anxiety, there's a form of patience when you have to open up to somebody, be vulnerable. It takes confidence. You know, is there anything in your guys' life where discipline, confidence, patience were kind of instilled at you in an early age that you were able to have this mindset 30 years later?
Oh yeah. Do I go or do you go, bro?
You can go. I feel like
All
I've been
right.
talking a lot.
No, I mean, like, I don't know how he started because I was so young, but when I was 5, you know, or actually right before my 5th birthday, I was put into martial arts, Taekwondo. And, you know, and I did that all the way until I was like 10 or 11, stopped for a bit, started back up when I was 16. And, you know, doing it for 10 years, like, that's all it is. Discipline, patience, you know, and having an indomitable spirit and integrity, and like learning that day after day, it like gets instilled in you, and you have no idea that those seeds are planted until far down, you know, life's path is when they come up. You're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
like I do have self-control, like I do have this discipline.
Is that where Evan, did you do martial arts for 10 years?
Yeah, I did it when I was like probably 4 or 5 years old, and then did it till I was probably like, I don't know, like 13, 14.
Ooh.
Started it again when I was around 18, and then I was teaching martial arts on top of like also doing classes.
Oh, wow.
Probably until I was 21, and then I moved away. Like, it was the same school, like from when I was a kid, same instructors, like same people. And I moved and went to UCF, and then never picked it up after that.
I was going to ask if like that's where Dimitri's, you know, meditation and mental health focus comes from. If maybe you had stopped, but you kept it too. Why, you know, why do you think like there's that big difference between the two of you? Have you ever thought about that?
I think we see things differently. Like, he's really good at meditating. He also so one of our instructors, Mr. Andy, who was my instructor from when I was like 5 and was still there when I was 21, like kept the school. He owned the school. Even after he sold the karate school and moved on with his life, like, I moved away, but my brother and him stayed in touch. and they still did trainings and stuff. So I think that might have helped with him keeping up with it. But obviously, my brother could jump in and say if I'm right or wrong.
Yeah, no, I mean, so when he finally sold the school, he was in his 50s, and his training for himself became more like meditative. And I had a best friend, still is my best friend to this day, Winston, who was a yogi. If you don't know what that is, someone who practices yoga daily. And he was big into meditation. So I was surrounded by these people. And that's just, you get challenged. And as we would train in a park. And like, as the sun's coming up and like, you have to hold a stance for like 10 minutes, it becomes a meditative practice because you have to draw your mind away from the pain in your legs or your shoulders. And, you just have to breathe. And, from all that training, it's just, you dive into other things to help you meditate, to help you, connect more spiritually, connect more with your higher self, etc.
Yeah. Very interesting. I think you guys have one of the things that I love about not only the both of you but your family in general is just your family dynamic, right? You guys are very close to your family, your brothers, very close to your parents. Where do you think that family dynamic started? Do you think it's because of your Greek background, or was there something else, growing up that kind of kept you guys connected?
I think I feel like it's how we were raised. Like our family was always close. Like we spent time with our cousins, like just on a random day. We see our aunts, uncles just for no reason. So family was always around. Our parents had a restaurant. Aunts, uncles, grandparents had restaurants. We spent our whole life in them. Like any school holiday, we had to work. I remember them saying like, when we were just in like those walkers that you let kids just like walk around when they're like little, like because they didn't have someone to watch us, like our parents would just bring us in those walkers and we would just like aimlessly walk around the restaurant like as our parents were working. Like we spent like our whole life in it. So yeah, I feel like we were just always, I would like, as a kid it sucked, we were smothered with family, but as an adult I feel like I think how close we are might have helped from that, but I feel like we both have really good work ethic. And I think that just comes from like always having to work. Yeah, that's what I think it's from.
Nah, I would concur with you, bro. Like literally we were surrounded by family, and like any holiday or, like small holiday, like a birthday or like freaking Labor Day, like, it was always a festive event. It was always family. It's not just like 5 of us. There's like 50 of us in a house. And as a kid, like you hung out with the kids. But then as you guys grew, like it's weird. Evan has a son. And our cousins that he talked about, like one of them has a kid. And it's just like, I remember we were like 5, running amok outside. And now like we're grown up, like still trying to keep that family oriented, like together and alive. It's dope.
Yeah.
I love it. I love being close to family.
That's awesome.
What did working in the family business teach you guys about pressure and responsibility?
I think I at least I learned a lot from responsibility. Like we got paid wasn't really good. I always remember it was below minimum wage, and I used to complain. But if we didn't work, like they'd be like, okay, well, you aren't getting paid. And it's like, well, I did chores around the house. So like, you didn't show up to work.
Huh?
And it's like, well, I want to get this new game. And they're like, you should have worked this week. You were on a, like Thanksgiving break. You were supposed to be there for 4 days. You didn't come in for 4 days because you were throwing a temper tantrum. It's like, well, I'm only 10. But I mean,
I'm only 10.
but we learned a lot of responsibility, especially me, because I'm older. At one point when I was in high school, our mom got super sick, so like my dad wasn't always around at the restaurant. He's like, "Hey, listen, you're in charge." I'm like, "You're gonna put a 16 in charge of a restaurant?" First off, I think that's really not good because I'm gonna be like, it's gonna get to your head when you're 16. You're like, "Yeah, I'm in charge of this place." And I made some mistakes, and that's my dad was like, "Okay, listen, like there are ground rules to what you're doing," and it did like you learn things like a customer complains about something and learning it firsthand when you're 16 is it's a way to be responsible because the last thing I want is my dad to know that I kicked the customer out of the restaurant for no reason.
Ego. Your ego.
Yeah, it was definitely ego when I first started.
Where's that
Nice.
ego
I mean-
now?
Sorry.
it's still
giving
there.
away.
What are you gonna say, D?
I was saying for me, it was just different because like Evan and I were 5 years apart. So like, he might be 13, I'm 8. So like my responsibility is just like, oh, you want this pack of Pokemon cards? Like, come in Saturday and work. And then like I would make the money. I'm like, all right, let's go pick up the Pokemon cards. And be like, nope, you gotta save it. You gotta learn you can't just spend the money right away that you get. And it was like, what? But really, you just
Oh
need
my
extra
God.
help on a busy day. Like, so it was different for me. Where I learned how
Yeah.
to save money because it was like you couldn't spend it.
Yeah. Nick, one thing we haven't really talked about is you having a brother. What is their
Two.
what is their brotherly dynamic kind of, how does that align for you and your brothers and kind of how you grew up? Like they said, it was kind of different. You have age gaps in yours.
Yeah, we're all 2 years apart, so but me and the youngest are 5, if the math makes sense. It's like I guess like 2. It's a little it's obviously a little bit more than 2, but it's 2 years. And I don't know, we've gotten a lot closer as we gotten older. We were close as kids, but the age gap, me and the youngest one didn't necessarily relate on some things when we were kids, but like now, not that we weren't close, but I was much closer with my brother Eric just because he's 2 years younger than me. I mean, built-in best friend type stuff, and we were very similar in everything. I mean, baseball, video games. Alex didn't really like all those things, so it was kind of that dynamic was different. Like, but now as adults, we're all pretty much. I mean, we were all on a phone call just the other night. Just shooting the shit. Eric's in California, so it makes seeing each other tough. So, but I saw Alex just the other day.
I don't think I knew that you had a third brother. I knew Eric. I don't think I knew of Alex.
Yeah, Alex is my youngest brother.
Okay, well that makes sense. So he probably wasn't. Did he go to Deltona?
Yep.
But we would have
Yeah.
been gone.
You would have been gone. Yeah, well, you probably would have been there like when he was a freshman or sophomore. When did you graduate?
07.
07?
Yeah.
So I was 06, you were 07. My brother Eric would have
Yeah.
been 08, and then Alex would have been 10. So he would have been a freshman your senior year, I believe.
Yeah. No, that sounds right. Interesting. Very
Maybe,
interesting.
yeah, maybe even a sophomore, but definitely at least a freshman. Yeah, no,
And you just-
07, 8, 9,
Yeah,
10
yeah,
would have been the senior.
freshman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you just didn't want to hang out with the little guys. It's always the little guys that get left behind.
It's
Dear
not
God.
that it was like I said, we were, I mean, when we were younger, we all had to play outside, but as we got older and we got to like choose what we enjoyed and shit, like he just didn't like what we all liked. I mean,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is what it is.
It is what it is. Well, I appreciate everybody kind of walking down that road, right? There's so much more that we could go into, so many stories we didn't tap into. But I wanted to end the episode or end the segment with Evan's moment. So Evan wanted to ask a question. He says that it's his question that he asks everyone. And Evan, I kind of wanted to give you the moment before we wrap things up to go through this mystery surprise question that you wouldn't let us prep for.
So listen,
Okay.
I'm gonna ask this question. Everyone listening, our thousands of listeners, it's gonna be on the Crods Pod Instagram and Facebook. I want you to answer. We're gonna post it. They're gonna talk about it for weekly episodes. So I want all the listeners to be involved in this.
I mean, you really are springing all this on me. We're
Yeah.
gonna call back. We're just gonna get a call back.
So
All right.
you find out you're going to die, and someone tells you they will pay for you to go anywhere in the world. You can go anywhere in the world for free. One place, though. It could be in the US, it could be another country. Where would you choose to go before you die?
Well,
How long do we get to stay there?
It's the last place you're allowed to visit, and you get to go for free.
Like,
Are you
when I
dying
get
there?
off the
Like,
plane, will I die?
What?
how
When
old
I get
am
off the
I?
plane, will I die?
how old
No,
Am
am
I
I?
old? Am I gonna be able to? Am I gonna?
You're going to be able to enjoy it.
this
You're
place?
going to
Okay.
enjoy it.
Hmm.
Well, I got my answers. Evan's asked me this before. I'm kind of let down because I thought it was like a surprise question. But it's a good question.
I'm kind of let down.
I'm kind of let down.
For me,
All right, you go because I'm still thinking.
all right. So I would actually be totally cool if I died at this moment where I'm going. But I'm going to Hawaii. I'm hiking the road to Hana. And if I died at that top or on the way there, like I'm cool with it. That's where I'm
Nice.
going.
You don't hike the road to Hana. You drive it.
No, then you hike
It's a
up
road.
it, bro. You hike up the mountain.
I've done it.
Yeah, and then there's a
I've
hike.
done it.
Yeah, but there's a hike.
Then that's not. But that's not a
Evan's
hike. That's not the
crazy.
road to Hana.
What?
That's just,
Nah, bro,
What?
you hike it, dude.
I wanna.
you don't hike.
Am I-
I'm
Yo,
telling.
where's Jamie at? We gotta ask Jamie, man. Jamie,
where
pull
is
it up.
Jamie? Yeah. I'm glad I'm not the only one that thinks we need a Jamie. We
I'll
definitely
be the
need a
Jamie.
Jamie.
All right,
But-
Nick, what's yours?
For me, I'm going to go at some point. But Italy, like I want to go to Italy, see where like my ancestors are from. It's that in Hungary, but I don't know if Eastern European is where I want to go. Like Eastern Europe is where I want to go first, but definitely Italy.
What about you, Chris?
I don't know. This is a really hard question. This is a really hard
No
question. Like
pressure.
because I'm overthinking it. Like I have so
You're
many other questions.
1,000% overthinking.
You are
overthinking
overthinking.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
I am.
It could even be
Uh,
someplace you've already been, but you get to go for free. So I would choose
there an
somewhere you
event?
haven't been.
I-
Oh,
so-
dude, there is an event. I got an event for sure. Like Jazz Fest in New Orleans. Like I want to go to that so
See?
fucking bad.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
that
then
could
you'll
be a thing.
die. Then you'll die.
No, I
You
You
wanna
mean,
die at
party.
the event. It's just somewhere you can go.
But you said if you're about to die, where would
You're
you
allowed
want
to
to
go
go?
to right.
So
You're not
he's
dying at the event.
gonna die.
no, I die when I get back, so I just stay there.
But also, is he 35? Is he 92?
You're
I
allowed to
got it.
enjoy the
Well,
experience.
I can't be 35. Already past been
Sorry,
there, done that, buddy.
I know I'm ruining this question.
While you're thinking about the reason I like the question is you get like Nick's answer. He wants to go to Italy. That's where his ancestors are from, which I didn't know. I had a friend who picked some specific place in Africa because it was where like running, like where all the runners, like the best runners in the world, are trained, and he's huge into running. He's like, I would have always loved to go there. And I'm like, see, I didn't know that about him.
And here's Chris
And
thinking about this way too hard.
Wait, Evan, what's your
Sweden,
answer?
Switzerland, Greenland,
Yeah, anywhere. Mine's Ireland.
Brazil.
there's no
Ireland.
meaning behind that for me.
Egypt.
There's no meaning.
There's a meaning.
China.
I have always wanted to go to Ireland. There's no meaning.
Okay.
My family is all from Greece. I have no ties
Evan
to
was-
Ireland,
But
Nah,
you
you
can
were
go to
Irish in
Ireland
past
before you
life.
die.
but I
You
cannot.
want to kiss the
I don't have
Blarney
money to go to
Stone,
Ireland.
that's why.
You're telling me between
Yeah.
now and in the next 40 years you won't have money and time to go to Ireland?
Dude, I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? But if someone comes up to me and it's like, listen, I'm going to pay for you to go wherever you want right now. Where are you going?
You're
I'm gonna
going
say,
to- you're
I want to
going-
go to Ireland.
You're going to Ireland over Greece?
But
Yes.
that's not the question. You said you're about
That is
to
the question.
die.
That's
He didn't say that somebody's just going to come up to
Oh.
you and ask to pay for you to go. You said you're about to die. See,
You
I'm
are.
changing your whole question.
Everyone's had an answer but you.
but you don't know
You're
you're gonna
overthinking
die. How
it,
about
dude.
that?
No, I thought it's
You
like you
don't
have a
know you're
terminal
gonna die.
disease.
You're picking like the last place you want to go to, and you're overthinking.
You're dying anyway, dude. It doesn't matter. You're going to you're gonna die.
Where you trying to
January
die at?
1st. You get to go on this fucking trip, whether you're gonna, you
don't
know what I'm
have
saying?
to
Where you
die there.
Okay.
you're not dying there.
Well, I always
It's where
have
you're
said-
going. Like you're gonna fucking die on a specific date. Where are you going before then?
Aside from like the district, I've always said that if I'm going
Netherlands,
to
nice.
if I'm gonna die, I want to go skydiving. So it's not I don't know where I'd be skydiving. You know,
Oh, I didn't know.
So
if
you're
there
gonna
was,
skydive the land. You're gonna skydive back home.
sure. Fucking-
you are the only person I've ever asked who was like, I don't know, like had a million questions. Someone's like, oh, I've always wanted to go to this place.
because I feel like that's a deeper question than just like Ireland. Oh, I don't know if I'm ever gonna go to Ireland. Like, it's not that deep. But you're asking if I'm about to die, what is the one place I would want to go?
What? All right, yeah. What country would you want to skydive in?
There you go.
Nepal.
That's
No,
there you
see,
go.
There we go.
There you go.
We're
There you
getting
go.
somewhere.
Now we're
Nepal?
talking. So he knows what heaven feels like before he gets there.
Because they have really nice mountains and I want to see them before I crash into them. I don't know.
Your
I don't
shoot
know.
works. You make it back home. You die stateside.
All right.
Stateside kill.
For all the listeners out there, don't overthink it like Chris. If you have a place,
It's
you
definitely
wanna,
not that deep.
you want to give out answers, there's an email that Chris says at the end. You can hit him up on Instagram. I'm Greek God of America. Find me on Instagram. I'll pass it on to Crod's Pod.
Evan taking over. I'm your host, Evan Antonopoulos. Listen,
We're email C-Rod says.
I'm
Oh
just
my
saying,
God.
the question is that deep. If the question is that deep, there has to be meaning behind the answer.
I've
And if you're
always-
not getting those answers, then your friends are not that deep.
You know, I was so nervous bringing this question up because I go, I know my brother will answer, Nick will answer, and Chris will have some like response to why this isn't a good question.
Fuck you.
Did you really think that far ahead, like that far into it?
Oh, I was in the future. Like future me was like, listen, Chris is gonna make this hard on you. And I'm like, yeah, I figured he's a host.
That's crazy.
Oh my.
I mean, because yeah,
That's
duh, but that's crazy. We're eventually have a voicemail people can call into, so we're
I heard about that in the last episode. I can't wait.
My brother in California goes, I'd call. I'm like, I'm sure you would, man. I'm sure you would.
Nick is really stuck on this whole voicemail thing. I think it's gonna happen.
It's definitely gonna happen.
I think that this episode was interesting in the fact that we had two guests, but two guests that I think I've had a very different timeline of friendship with. So my last question to both of you is, when you kind of think about our circle, right? You think about the times we've had, the nights out, the conversations we had. What do you think that we've taught each other, or what do you think that either of you have taken from kind of this circle of truth that we have? You know, whether it's in our text messages, our group chat, you know, the in-person bros weekends that we have, Bro-in-Times Day, which, you know, we never even got into. But what do you think we've taught each other, and what do you take away from kind of the friendship that we have?
We can let my brother answer first.
Oh, how'd I know? Dudes, like for me, man, there's a big level of trust that I've been able to learn from you guys, and been able to, you know, being able to not just be vulnerable, but just be myself, you know. And it's just like, yeah, it's my brother, and like Chris, you know, we're homies now, but like at first it was, you know, you guys were homies. But as we formed this like brotherhood and been able to just hang out and just vibe no matter where we're at, what's going on, like, I don't know, I formed this level of trust that I've been able to reteach myself about trust. And it's been really dope. I appreciate that. So thank you guys.
That's awesome. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I would say something similar,
You can't.
especially because we have, you know, we have the group chat, and our group chat can be, sometimes it could just be something dumb. It could be football related. Other times, you know, one of us will just throw out a question that's kind of a vulnerable question to see like how the other two are going to respond. So yeah, we have that level of trust. It's kind of nice to still have that friendship. Like, obviously I'm gonna have that relationship with my brother, but when I moved to Buffalo, like, I didn't know what was going to happen between me and you. Even though I'm in your fantasy football league, doesn't mean we're still going to communicate outside of football related things. So it's really nice to still have that friendship. And I feel like our friendship got stronger, you know, as the years gone on. Like, we have talked more about things we didn't talk about in the beginning. And something that I took from you personally, Chris, is, you know, I was friends with you when you at Kinsley, and you quit the Container Store. You became a full-time dad. And at the time, I was only part-time at the Container Store. So when I had downtime, like, I would just go to your house and hang out with you and Kinsley and like spend the day. So it was the first time I've seen someone my age as a parent. So it was really cool to see like the things you were doing with her, like whether it be just changing her diaper or like warming up a bottle, something like that. But then how you were, you know, you'd be like, hey, you want to go, let's grab lunch. Like, I come to your house and we go grab lunch. And then you'd be like, all right, well, I have to pack this whole bag for her. And then I will never, it was the first time I've ever witnessed it, and I've experienced it more times than I can count now that I have a child, and I would do things with him when he was a baby by myself. But I will never forget when you and me went to a restaurant and Kinsley needed a new diaper, and you went to the bathroom with her, came back with this angry look on your face, and you're like, I have to run to the car. And then you went to the car with her, came back, and I'm just sitting there like, what is happening? And then they didn't have a changing table in the men's room, and you had to change her in your car. And you were like, this happens a lot. And every time it like, now my son's 5, but when he was a baby and we would go somewhere, like, I would have to like, it would just be me and him like getting lunch. Like, I would get lunch, and, you know, he's a baby, and I would have to be like to the server, like, hey, I'm not leaving. You don't have a changing table in the men's room. I have to go change my child. I'll be right back. And I always thought about you every time. So it was, you know, I even think about you from like father moments. And I just want to say, I've never told you that, but, you know, it was really cool to experience a first time father like go through different things.
I appreciate you, brother. I love that. It's the world has definitely changed in the last 10, 12 years to where men have changing tables in the bathrooms now. But you're right. It was women's or family. I mean, I had to change Kinsley in so many weird areas.
Yep.
And it is what it is. And the three of us know that as dads, and especially Nick, Nick's oldest is much older than ours.
Yeah.
So 15, 16, 17 years ago, it was even harder for him. And it's, I mean, you're right. At any point in time, you got to change a diaper. And sometimes maybe it's just right there on the floor is all you have.
Oh, just go to the car.
But I appreciate you sharing that, Evan. I definitely love you. And I appreciate, just everything you've learned, and you're a great father as well. So keep doing what you're doing. I know that, your son be there for him, and he's always the first thing on your mind. And we've talked about that a lot.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Open floor. This was an interesting episode because I don't think it went the way that the guide was supposed to go, but we got into first, we opened Evan up, which was great. You started talking. I know that you were nervous to do this. And very early on in the first 20 minutes, there were one-word answers that led to stories. So I applaud you. Evan, Dimitri, I know that you have a lot to talk about in terms of mental health, right? Ways to cope, ways to get there. I want to have you back on solo, and we can dive into that a lot more. But and Nick, this is open to you as well. Open floor here. Any last words or anything else that anybody wanted to bring up or talk about that we haven't got to yet?
You made us talk about how we feel about our friendship. You didn't tell us. Kind of hurts my feelings.
Oh, snap.
Oh.
Is that what you want to know?
Hey, Chris, don't overthink it.
I'm not. That's not something that I need to overthink. I think it's a very different dynamic, and if I'm being quite honest, when I knew that you had a brother, it was never, let me go befriend him, right? And even after I met him in Buffalo, it was never, hey, let me reach out to Dimitri. It took some time for us to create a friendship, let alone being in a group chat or having mental walks and sharing like things that I don't share with a lot of people. And that's kind of where your brother stems from and what he means to me now. But for you, I definitely lost a piece of me, like when you left to Tampa. We were probably hanging out every single day, sometimes multiple times a day, if it was work in the morning and drinks at night. And I probably only have, 5 people in Tampa like that I can either have a connection with or have an emotional or vulnerable conversation with. And it's probably less than that now. So, even 10 years ago, I was not as open as I am now, but we still shared a lot of conversations and time and memories together. So it was very hard to see you leave. I wish that I could visit more. I've visited twice. You have come down probably 3 or 4 times now at this point. So there's a little bit of a mix there, but I wouldn't change the friendship that we have grown for the world. You're definitely one of my best friends. I wish you lived down here. I wish I could see you more. And like Dimitri has really been a rock down here in Florida that in the Tampa region that I just have been missing. And it's been very good for me mentally, to be out there with him, to, our relationship evolved because it used to just be me giving you shit. And I think that I give you less shit now because I've tried to change who I am. And even though we're bros and that's what guys do, and the shit giving is like a part of it, I also realize like as we grow older, there's more to just ribbing people. And I want it to be a lot more positive light, like as corny as that may sound.
I just want to let you know that even though a piece of you was missing when I left, I knew deep down you and my brother be friends, and that was the piece you were going to get back. So you're welcome.
And you are my fire. Right? I thought you were gonna quote a Backstreet Boys song there.
No, sorry.
Nick, any last words, buddy? You want to tell us how much you love us?
No, yeah, I was just gonna say no. This was fun. Thanks for coming on, guys. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you for having us. I feel like it's the first
thank you,
conversation I've
Keith.
had with you, Nick, outside of fantasy football.
Yeah, it probably is.
So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Dee, do you still run any mental health, social, or fitness programs or anything you want to plug? Anywhere that people can find you?
Actually, if you want to read about my mental health articles, go to my Instagram, Dimitri, all eyes, period, writes. There's a link there to all my articles. Have at them. Read them. It's just pretty much my struggles. And, I actually have something there about meditation, about how to meditate, how to build a habit to meditate, which is probably my most accomplished piece I've ever written based on stats.
I love that. I'll share it for sure. It's DIMITRI.writes, WRITES, correct?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then everybody say happy birthday to me before we close out, because we know that is very important to me.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday, slut.
Happy birthday, Chris.
If you guys listen to this episode and don't text me happy birthday, you're getting unfriended. I'm just saying. No, I'm just,
Oh
I'm
my
just
god.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
You are so needy, dude.
I'll put
I
it on
know,
the calendar,
I
Chris.
know.
No
I'm
worries.
I'm very vain. Okay, I get 1 year, one
You
day,
get 1 day.
1 day a year.
1 year.
1 day a year. If any part of today's episode hit home, if you have brothers that live near and far, if you have people that have come into your life unexpectedly and have become brothers, if you're open to exercise or mental health or anything in between, please share this with a friend. Tag us at CrodsPod on Instagram. Help us keep this conversation going. We drop new episodes every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. live on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeart. Please, if you have a story, a topic, or you just need to vent, email us at crodspod@gmail.com. Or if you want to answer Evan's question about if you die and when you die, where you want to go, or whatever that question was, we want to hear from you. We are here to talk to or talk for you. Our safe space is always going to be your outlet. We truly appreciate each and every person that listens and contributes. And until next time, live fast, eat ass, or just crash a company holiday party and say you're with your friend.